So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we go. We are going to be getting into our first round in just a bit, and it will be GyverMac versus AgentX. So Protoss versus Zerg, not a bad starting point whatsoever. And something to take note is that it will be one of those new map pools coming our way. It's a new season, it's a new map rotation, and well, we got some really great additions so far into our pool. Deathaura, one of my new favorites. Submarine is a pretty small but terrible fun map to play in. And of course, you got your macro maps, your Ice and Chrome, which some people say Ice and Cream instead, as well as Pillars of Gold, if I remember correctly. So yeah, 4 maps there. Eternal Empire still staying on replacing Purity and Industries, because that is such a questionable map to put in the map pool. And hey, I do love the new map pool right now for all of our players, for all of the ladder, and we are going to be getting slowly but surely into the game. So far, we already have our bands. We are just getting our map order real quick. We're just making sure that everything is fine and dandy. And if you guys are in the tournament and you're waiting on for your match, which will be round 2, please don't start yet because we want to do this simultaneously so we can really have a handle on everything at the same time. Of course, because here in round 1, we have a little bit more than 32 players. So the round of 32 isn't going to be enough. You need to go to the round of 64. But with only 3 of them, it's going to be a little quicker. Just be on standby. Just take a little bit of break and see how this kind of works out in the first place. But yeah, we already have our map band so far for our next bracket. We have Golden Wall, Eternal Empire, Everdream, and Submarine as our bands. We're just waiting on to see which maps are going to get picked up. And while looking at these 2 players, I believe I've seen GyverMac. I think I've seen him join a few of these quarantine tournaments before, but I really can't remember. But on the other side, Gameheart, Mr. Mizzle. Oh, there you go. And we are gonna be getting into our first game in just a bit. But ladies and gentlemen, we are just here to enjoy our time together, and we are here to just really bring in the best. This best of these players. For GyverMac, again, it's gonna be kind of a new one to me. I think I've seen him before, but I really can't remember per se. I do feel like I'm going to be familiar when I see his playstyle, but for Agent X, has been one of those longtime supporters of the SCPH replay casting, has been supporting with so many replays being sent in of different kinds. Like there's always the cheesiness, there's always the macro game. I remember her most memorable game was defending against a proxy hatchery as an off race, which was really interesting. And hey, that is just basically it. This is gonna be the battle kind of the new guns, the battle of some of these players trying to really come up the ladder per se, and it seems like we are getting our next map also. So give us a sec, guys. We're just looking to coordinate with the players, coordinate with everything that's going on. And that means our last map will be Ice and Chrome LE. So there you go. We have gotten map picks, we have gotten our confirmations, and it is high time now to get into the action. Are you guys ready for the first game of the day? We are gonna be here all afternoon, just casting these games, enjoying our time together. And well, I can't wait to bring you guys some of the best gold to diamond SCPH action. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, and love that everyone loves the haircut. But all I gotta say is we have 3 maps ready to go already. Deathaura LE, Pillars of Gold, and Ice and Chrome. Interesting to get our 2 macro maps into this one. Deathaura, of course, one of my new favorites with the acceleration zones. And well, I think it's high time to get started, Mr. Mizzle. Whenever you're ready, whenever our players are ready as well, it's finally time to get into the action. And something to take note, guys, real quick. I'll put a caveat already. So my monitor just recently broke, and I'm basically using the TV as a monitor. It's kind of not the same resolution, so it's a little difficult for me to see everything. So if you see a few observer issues, then that's kind of on me. But, besides that, everything should be a-okay. Hopefully nothing really blows up in my face, and we are going to be getting ready to go into the action. Both players loading on into our first map, Deathaura LE. It's kind of small, but it is something to take note, is really that acceleration zone in the middle. It allows things to really get away. Sometimes it allows quicker proxies in a way, especially for like our Protoss player. And in all honesty, it is a very defensible map though, because you have those 3 bases on the high ground. It's a triangle formation, which is very safe in so many ways. But when you go to your 4th, you kind of have to go to the low ground, or you can take the island that's kind of on your side, which is a little difficult to hold because it is very easy to be played with the aggression. But besides that, at least you're secured 3 bases pretty easily. It really depends though on how much map control you can get with the acceleration zones. For Pillars of Gold and Ice and Chrome though, those are more macro-oriented maps. We'll be talking about that one later on. And it's interesting to see them both in the map pool. Now usually, I've noticed that it's either one of the two are banned because of just how it really works per se. And it seems like it is high time, ladies and gentlemen, to get into our action. We do have our Protoss, we do have our Zerg, and it is now time to get into the fight, into the fights. Let's move in to Deathaura LE. Whew, this is gonna be a little difficult, but here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first game, our first round of the day here in the SCPH Quarantine Tournament number 4. Introducing first, on the top left, on that orange Protoss, it is gonna be my guy, GyverMac. And his opponents, on the bottom right, I'ma be who you. I'll be anyone I can be. It is our purple Zerg. She's AgentX. So Protoss versus Zerg, first thing to note has to be that the Queen's basically getting neutered in terms of that range. But there we go with the natural already. Hatchery first coming on in from AgentX. And GyverMac, of course, looking to go for his own natural to say the least. So big changes in terms of, well, the two races for our Protoss player. It has to be the fact that there is that new battery overcharge, which just allows you to be very defensive. In the meantime, for our Zerg, the Queen nerf is something to really take note of, because if the Oracle harassment does come and these Queens aren't in position, it can be a really good punish for our Protoss player. So for the time being, we are going to be getting into the action. I'm just looking around the map to make sure. Oh, okay, that's still there. Okay, I gotta get rid of that. So basically, I'm doing another tournament, and this is not part of the SEL Pro 2, guys. I will clean that up very shortly. But for now, it's AgentX gonna be hopping on around. We'll be looking for the scout with this Overlord. And in the meantime, it's gonna be a pull in behind all of this. For the time being though, we do have the Gateway already and the Cybernetics core going for the Nexus at the same time. And a second gas being built here by GyverMac. Seems like he's not really investing too much on the gas that early. He wants to get that second point Nexus first and foremost. And he will be warping in that Adept as well as the Warp Gate Research. Now, usually you go for the Chrono Boost on the Adept to allow you to go for quicker harassment or quicker defensive capabilities. It seems like for our Protoss player, he's holding that one down, and there you go, there's the Chrono Boost instead. Anyway though, you're on the bottom right, Queens right now being built, and I've been seeing more Queen heavy builds lately, because that range upgrade, that range nerf, kind of making you make sure that these Queens are always in position. So I have noticed that there are players who go for an extra Queen or two to allow creep spread to be a lot easier. But I feel like it's just a matter of, well, preference rather than anything else. So how you guys all doing today? Remember, we are on a 3-minute delay to prevent any stream sniping from going on. Besides that, we are just happy to be bringing you guys the action already. This is the SCPH Quarantine Tournament, and it is just such a great time to be with you all in the local scene. But here we go already with the Stargate. Now, interesting enough, it's not gonna be a proxy, it's coming in from his main base. In the meantime, AgentX, feeling the greed, gonna be going for that third. And as I said, on a map like this, on Deathaura, it's pretty safe to actually get this third. It's so easy to defend that. Just fly on in, just move on in, wait the creep spread in the first place. And if you guys are looking for, any co-casters, we'll be having some later on. Of course, you guys are interested, you are welcome to hop on in if you are ready to go for it. But I believe we'll have Mr. Extinct later. I don't know if we're gonna have anyone else who might be willing, but if you're interested, just hit us up on the Discord in the first place. In any case though, this is built in diamond bracket, so it's not gonna be the most refined play. So in all honesty, you're gonna be looking for small little nuances as a caster, as a observer, to see what is gonna be the difference maker here. And this might be the difference maker, as there we go with the Oracle already trying to relocate himself to the southeast side. In the meantime though, we already have those links set up, trying to get in position. Maybe, just maybe, go for a little bit of harassment, but AgentX playing very passively right now. GyverMac making sure that Stalker is in position, and that is going to be blockading any kind of scout to go for it. In any case though, here comes the Oracle again, trying to get on through to the natural, burning down. Interesting, he's going for the Queen. GyverMac, you want to go for the drones instead, my friend. Okay, that's not going to happen. AgentX will be able to get the shutdown there. A little bit of mistake there. You should be going for the drones instead. So easy to get those takedowns with the pulsar beam, doing extraordinary amounts of damage against light units. And hey, in a scenario like that, he was already in position, and now AgentX is only going for the Spore Crawlers right now. Could have been an opportunity there, but unfortunately didn't fly. Now AgentX is looking to get the bust on, as Banelings are getting morphed in with some Zerglings as well. So in any case, here we go again. It's time for more and more of these buildings to be built. And hey, it's really just going to be a high time to get some Adepts on, as well as some Sentries. There we go, the Baneling Bus. Good force build from GyverMac to prevent that one from happening. Oracle, though, also using that Pulsar Beam to defend. But so far, so good here for AgentX. She's on 3 base. She can go for the worker lead later on. But for some reason right now, she's focusing heavily onto the Baneling Bust, onto that main line. And something also to note is she has 1,000 minerals to boot, so she can go for a little better macro in all honesty. 3 hatcheries, some spawn larva, maybe a macro hatch, or even a 4th base can be into the cards, because it feels like for GyverMac, he really just wants to play very defensively onto base. But anyway, still, I feel like the Zerg does have a little bit of map control with the mobility of those Zerglings, but now the numbers are evening up on the armor counts, on the army count rather. And speaking of, well, the armory, it's gonna be high time for the Forge to get that +1 instead. Blinkstalker, as well as Adept Glaives, and this is the first time I've seen double Twilight Council. That's very interesting. Double Twilight Council. Okay, we'll look into that one. That's new. That's new to me. I enjoy it myself. Then sure, if you want to double pump up those upgrades with Twilight Council units, then we go at it. Roach Warren though is set up. Here we go already with that movement speed upgrade. And in the meantime, things roaming on around again. For the time being, the Oracle right now trying to get as much done. We'll be able to get on away pretty much scot-free. Around 6 kills I believe there. Pretty good stuff from the Oracle overall. But in the meantime, it's gonna be high time for the Warp Prism to just go on forward again. So you know when the Protoss is moving out, when they have that Warp Prism ready to go, and it is gonna be time for them to mobilize out onto the map. Carapace though, being upgraded though for AgentX, but what is gonna be the plan here from our Protoss player? He's gonna be in a foothold to actually try and contest that high ground. In the meantime, still these Overlords scouting on around, 3rd base already trying to get taken by our Protoss. And a setup like this is so many gateways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Basically a 2-base all-in by this scenario, even though he's looking for a 3rd. GyverMac gonna be trying to go for the push, having overwhelming numbers, overwhelming odds. And this is a bigger army to really shut down AgentX and her production. Damage right now being done onto the Herd Hatchery. In the meantime, the Baneling's trying to go for the bust down. That is gonna be that battery overcharge into play as well. Force field right now to stay alive. Sentry gonna be in behind with the Stalker, but you can see really that shield play into work. But on the other side, here on the south side, it's GyverMac in position to really shut down this natural. Basically trying to go for a base race, but 19 drones have already gone. Make that 20, 21, 22. Everything is dying left, right, and center. We're going with the strategic recall though, which is very interesting because that is gonna be AgentX able to get the bust on down. But even though that happened, it felt like GyverMac had the advantage, and now splitting up the army like this is gonna hurt these Adepts as well as these Sentries. But good micro might go a long way. There we go right there with this Ionic Transfer as the defense will be able to hold there onto that natural of the Protoss. And GyverMac basically winning out on both sides, but I feel like he neutered his killing blow there when he did go for the strategic recall instead. When you have that many gateways, I wouldn't be surprised if you can just get one good warp cycle of units to really hold the line. Some Zealots in the front should be enough, as well as maybe Immortal in behind. But right now, Roaches versus Adepts, you know who has the advantage here. These Roaches is doing all they can. The Adepts trying to move on away, but they basically don't really do damage. And GG's called. GyverMac with the victory. So there you go, guys. A few split up, a few mistakes here and there, but hey, you know, StarCraft 2 is still alive when we are still a go here. This is only our first round in the Golden Diamond bracket, and for some reason we got GyverMac kicked from the party, even though he just won the first one. What's going on, mate? What's going on? But yeah, GyverMac with that first victory was able to really just have more units. That's basically it. Kind of really late, honestly. It was a pretty late 2-base all-in. He was playing very defensively, but in the end, when he had a bajillion gateways and one more with that, then there you go, it was enough. And our next map will be Pillars of Gold LE. So GyverMac taking that victory, just having overwhelming odds, even though that strategic recall kinda a little finicky for my own liking. I really do appreciate the fact that he just had so much production and he was just so potent at getting that push on. But we are gonna be getting into our second game in just a bit. And in Pillars of Gold, it might be better here for Agent X because there is still the fact of the matter that you can really creep spread really easily from first to second to third and try to play the aggression in terms of that macro. In the meantime, don't forget GyverMac, if he's going to be hanging on at those two bases on that high ground, going to be very safe for him on both the natural as well as the as well as the natural as well as the main base itself. And it seems like we are basically just waiting on the admin's confirmation and we are just making sure everything is a-okay. But I believe that some of the R2 matches might be starting already as we are gonna be into a penultimate era here, as GyverMac right now is just one map win away from moving on to the second round. Agent X really trying her best to find a way to get things done, and nope, no DC. So I'm basically handling the lobby right now, guys, alongside everything else, and well, we'll be getting into the action in just a bit. All I wanted to say though is thank you guys for tuning on in here for the SCPH quarantine. All right, to see you then. Yes, I got this. Don't worry, I got this, guys. And supporting your favorite local players. It's gonna be a really long bracket. It's gonna be really fun, and you know this game has evolved really from Mr. Vim. That's a big sentence right there, and it really is just how the game has evolved in a way. But hey guys, it's high time to get into our second map, which will be Pillars of Gold. I'll be fixing up the logos afterwards, but you are tuning into the SCPH Quarantine Tournament. It has been a great start so far between AgentX and GyverMac, but you can really see there is still some refinement needed by both of our players. Who will be the one though to clean up their act, clean up their game? Will it be AgentX or will it be GyverMac? GyverMac right now is up by one, just one more to move on to the next round. Protoss versus Zerg, looking to go a little further, and now it is time to get back into the action. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here in game number 2 between GyverMac as well as Agent X. So something to take note of real quick has to be the fact that, you know, for our gold to diamond bracket, it's usually the Terran and the Protosses who are able to move on to the higher echelons. Now, that's not because Zerg is weak, but mostly because Zerg is a race wherein the best of the best players are the ones who are able to squeeze out its value. And, well, for Gold to Diamond, it really is just these players trying to learn the race over anything else. But hey, it is high time now to get into the action. And introducing first, on the top right, one map ahead, it's our orange Protoss, GyverMac. And his opponent, on the bottom left, we said it before, we said it again. She's here, she's now, and she's playing that Zerg. It's our purple Zerg player, Agent X. So we're back into the action in this Protoss versus Zerg, and honestly, the real test every Gold to Diamond tournament has to be how far can a Zerg player go into the bracket. Last time, I believe they were all eliminated by round 3. It has been a very Protoss and Terran heavy semi-finals, grand finals action in the Gold to Diamond part, but in Masters Plus, it really is just the Zerg show all the way, all throughout. So it really goes to show the difficulty of playing the Zerg race and maximizing as much as possible. It's like you're trying to get some fresh oranges, and you're really squeezing out every single drop of that plant. But right now, it's still amateur hour. We'll be looking though if Agent X can figure things out. And this isn't really a rip onto them. I'm just saying just how difficult Zerg is to play compared to Protoss and Terran, which are more beginner friendly. But then for Protoss, it's really all about using your micro abilities, using those abilities to the best degree, because you have quality over quantity. For Terran, in the meantime, well, tactics like drops, starter steps, splits, and all the like, also very important in the scheme of things. And able to play the Bio or the mech, it really is a playstyle there. But for now, we are going to be seeing a pretty early Roach War in here from Agent X. Going to be a 2-base Roach already. Might be aggression within the 3-minute mark, I believe. And hey, we'll see right now if Agent X can do anything else with this one. She already has the pool. Trying to get these queens on that. Going to be at that second extractor because of the Roach War to begin with. Can this be like a 2-base all-in Roach Ravager push? That's going to be the real question here. Stargate again though from GyverMac. No proxy whatsoever. He loves putting it onto the main base. really feeling more safe rather than going for those timings. And here we go yet again though, continuing on into the action. Anyway though, in terms of that macro so far, of course we got GyverMac really focusing heavily on getting those probes. Something note, I believe he does use that Nexus point as much as possible to really produce, and I think for GyverMac he's kind of on point. He does queue up one probe per Nexus afterwards, which is kind of optimal in a way. Now if you can click it as fast as possible, it will make a difference. Can Deathaura survive? Not gonna happen. AgentX will get all the scouting in the world. Can it survive 1 HP and Dream? And we'll see that Stargate coming her way. So now Stargate is confirmed. This has to be Spore Crawlers immediately from AgentX. Now usually on higher tiers of play, they wait it out a little bit since there's no production whatsoever. They can kind of time it right and just know the timings of the production itself from the Stargate and allow them to basically get those air defenses at the right time. But you can't go wrong with being proactive. You can't go wrong with basically firing and forgetting. And in the meantime, yeah, more roaches right now from AgentX onto base. Wouldn't be surprised if she goes for a really big push here when she gets the numbers. In worker count right now, it's still GyverMac trying to play the macro game, but the shield battery is into play already. And now the question is, does the battery overcharge actually reach that shield battery? I think it does. I would be very surprised to see any Zerg player right now get a easy bust because a shield battery is set up not onto the Nexus's AoE. So yeah, for GyverMac, he just needs to make sure these buildings are well placed, and he should be good to go with these two bases. In the meantime, yet again, it is gonna be all about looking to set things up. And hey, for everyone who's looking for the giveaway, just type it down. But I don't have the physical product. It's with, well, our admins. It's with our giveaway owners. And hey, you know, just make sure that those questions are gonna be handled by you guys later on into our stream. So yeah, we do have a keyboard 2 giveaway. It's gonna be really exciting. And into the meantime, it's gonna be on server here from GyverMac, looking to get the production, looking to get that scouting on again. So it seems like for both of our players, they are very responsible with their scouting. They like to go for safe scouting with the Overlord speed as well as the Observer itself. But it's high time now to see how this Oracle is gonna work out. Twin Oracles are very scary against the middle line, but at the same time, AgentX already in position. That's what Creepset is all about, but there we go with the Star Step action, trying to really get the micro on. But these Oracles, if you're not microed correctly, they kind of just swing around very quickly. In any case, field attack here from GyverMac, not really doing too much in the first place. And we might be in for a more macro-oriented game coming into this one. Still though, 2 base versus 2 base, never mind, AgentX going for a third, but still behind on the worker count. Now this is really bad for our Zerg player because you can't be behind on the worker count if you don't have a substantial army. You need to make sure that you are really keeping up those numbers because against the Protoss on even, that is not even for you whatsoever. And GyverMac already going for a third. He is going to be going for the high ground offensive, which means he wants to play the aggressor here. Now if you're playing on the low ground, you're playing on the more southern or northern sides, kind of just want to connect your bases, you want to be very defensive, but here on Pillars of Gold, if you take this high ground, this gives you a plateau to work on your aggression. In any case though, we are going to be moving on again, and in the meantime, it's still high time for the Void Ray to just go for the chase down and look for the takedown onto the Overlord. If you guys are looking for specific people, check out our bracket because, well, we have 35 participants, we can't really do everyone, but you might be able to just find a way to find out your favorites. We'll be looking with the admins though later on to see how that one's gonna unfold. But it's high time for the Blink Stalker from the Twilight Council. No second Twilight though from GyverMac this time. Feels like that was a mistake. I think he was building a second forge, but he accidentally clicked the Twilight Council instead. But this third base looking pretty secure so far. GyverMac is in a pretty good lead. He just has more income right now against a Zerg player, and that is never good for AgentX. Something to note also, AgentX is very floaty with her minerals and gas compared to GyverMac, who's being as optimal as possible. So you can really see a lot more refinement here from GyverMac compared to, well, his opponents. Revelation though into play, 25 energy only on that one, 10 seconds duration, was able to get a little bit of scouting. In the meantime, it seems like a Spire play here from AgentX, but it's kind of late with a 7.5 minute mark if you're really going to be going for that mutable to begin with. Ravager is going to be there as well. AgentX still has a lot of gas, so you can really get a big number of mutas flying on around like that. I wouldn't be surprised though if GyverMac has a way to really counter that out later on. But what's the plan here? Has a Void Ray to go for well, hunting on overlords, which is really interesting rather than the Phoenix. Something to note though, it is going to be a Robo Bay in behind, and AgentX going to be seeing that one coming. So Corruptors actually going to be into play here because we already have GyverMac going into Colossi Tech instead. Interesting use to get Inspired to go for the Corruptor instead. It will be pretty good. It's very, very tanky. It will be able to really shoot up those very, very tall Striders. And in a scenario like this, I don't really get why you're going to be going Colossus immediately, but they are very easy to micro. And, well, you can just basically A-move with them to compare to something like the Disruptor or the High Templar. Anyway, more shield batteries, more on the macro. We are getting +1, so it's a mixture of Corruptors and Mutas, which is really interesting. Macro hatchery here for AgentX at the same time. It's only Lair Tech, though, for our purple Zerg. And now it is going to be time for the big engagement. GyverMac going for the push, hungry for blood. 64 army to 43, and this is going to be looking really, really good right now for our Protoss player. Has Blink Stalker, good micro, going to make a big difference. Corruptors, though, soaring on in from the skylines with a very, very ground-based composition. It feels like GyverMac is pretty secure into this one. As here comes the push, going for the damage. Engagement though, AgentX trying to capitalize, trying to get in the way, but it's not happening so far. In any case though, force fields are into play, just cutting off any kind of push there from Roaches and the Ravagers. And in all honesty, kind of unnecessary because those Roaches really not even bothering in the first place. Mutalist though, soaring in the skylines, coming out of that third hatchery, but besides all that, it's cleanup crew. My name is GyverMac. Beyond this, although sneaky AgentX with a southeast expansion, maybe just maybe, able to do something with that later on into the night. But in any case, still GyverMac's game to win. He has such a good lead right now with almost like 15 workers as a lead. He's really maximized his 3 bases. He has a better army, he has better upgrades, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him really just A-move himself to victory. Now, something he has to be very careful though, of course, are those Corruptors, because these Colossi should go down very, very easily against those Flyers. But in all honesty, the Colossi are just targets of opportunity rather than really like the main DPS in a scenario like this, because, well, in this GyverMac engagement, it really feels like those Colossi aren't really going to be doing too much against the composition of the Roaches and Ravagers. But as I say that, it's AgentX going for the Mutaball, trying to go for the harassment. GyverMac in the meantime responding with everything he has and more. Honestly, doesn't need to. He has those Blink Stalkers, can be very, very mobile. And yeah, AgentX even going for more Mutas. So the Colossi gonna be basically useless into this one. I like the Archons though from GyverMac. He can go for the drop later on into this game. And in the meantime, AgentX still floating on around. There we go though with the Zealots trying to get in position. GyverMac going for the push right now onto the western side. And here we go again. Archons right now looking to get in position. Stalker does catch out the Corruptor, but besides all of this, we can just ignore those Flyers as it is time for GyverMac to go for the push onto the natural base. He's still staying onto the high ground though, very hesitant to go for this attack. Dropping odds out to the ramp right now, and this is a pittance here from AgentX. There is nothing to really defend. Sure, you have Hydras with upgrades, but they will do nothing in small numbers. And it is now time for the War Person to bring the Stalkers on again. In the basic scenario, this has to be advantage here for GyverMac. It's the Golden Fleet, the Golden Armada, the Golden Ground Forces going for the push. Even though the War Person dies, this is still too much for AgentX to handle. And it is now high time to cook everything up to Kingdom Come. Doing all the damage that needs to be done. Going for the push already. Lair is under duress. There we go though with Colossus going down. Pretty much expected. Hydra is just running on in just to die. And these are the Archons doing all they can. 31 Orcas have already fallen. This is just so much damage being done by GyverMac. He pushes on forward. Blinks into the forefront. And well, this is just high time for our Orange Protoss to do all he can and more. It is going to be saying goodbye to AgentX as GyverMac will take the 2-0 and move into round 2. So there you go, guys. GyverMac with a 2-0 victory. Very well deserved. Just able to take the lead in so many ways. And you can really see that he just has more refined play. I feel like we've seen GyverMac before, surely. I really feel like his playstyle is very, very familiar to me, and this guy has proven that he can be one of those Protoss players that moves on into the next bout. GG, well played, and we are going to be looking to get into our second round in just a bit. But before all of that, let's look quickly at those match results. So there you go, guys. GyverMac taking those 2 victories in this best of 3. No need to play Ice and Chrome because, well, Deathaura and Pillars of Gold taken by our Protoss player. Really goes to show the Protoss, when played in sheer numbers, just having the advantage over the Zerg. And kudos there to AgentX for really giving it her all. But GyverMac with just better macro, with just better efficiency. In the meantime, AgentX still kind of stuck in her ways and going for the floaty mineral count. And hey, you know, the gold to diamond bracket is all about getting better as much as possible, and really appreciate every single player who joins these tournaments to try and figure out where they really fit into the scene, into the ladder, and how they can really ascend in the first place. But in any case, though, we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around, stay tuned. Big shout outs yet again, though, to our sponsors, real quick. ROG Internet Cafe, Block 101, Cards and the like. We also have our community sponsors right there, Pouch and Ender, Bayagster, Slayo Cookie, as well as Raigeki. And later on as well, we'll be releasing our first question for our Vigor GK30 gaming keyboard giveaway. So we'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned, stick around. This is the SCPH Quarantine Tournament number 4.